everyone, Brian Ramon here. This is just an update video on my new product I just released. It's ThemeWay Creative's very own Cinema Sound Designer Space Elements Foley Kit Light Edition. And what it is, it's essentially a sound library I produced from scratch, and through sound design I manipulated the sounds to become something quite different from what I originally recorded. It's available right now on my brand new redesigned website in the ThemeWay Creative shop. It's a completely free product, so head on over there right now to my website and pick it on up. The website address is now there on your screen. In the download of the product, I include a user's guide to explain a bit more on the recording and sound design process. What you also find in your download is this song that you are hearing in the background you heard at the beginning. It's called Terrestrial Encounter. It's a song I compose and perform myself, and I use just a couple of the sounds from the Cinema Sound Designer kit. The sound library is made up and consists of 71 original sound recordings. These recordings can be used in your productions, however, you don't have to stop there. Using a sampler of your choice, you could go beyond just using the library WAV files that you see in the folder, and you could actually further manipulate and edit the sounds to fit your own productions. I've included things like drum and synth sections within the list of WAVs that you'll be able to see. After you download the product, you're going to see a folder, and there's a bunch of different things in the folder like the product videos, user guide, a readme first, which I strongly recommend you read first. Basically will tell you how you can and cannot use these sounds in the library. You could use this library in many different instances, like a film score, or add to a song like I did. I made a film score basically for demo purposes for this product, and I implemented the sounds in there. But the user's guide will explain more in depth and give you more insight on how I went about doing the sound design for this particular product. I made a film score for demo purposes for this product, and I implemented a lot of the sounds in there. And that will open up in your media player, whether you're on Windows or Mac. You could basically hear the demo song and hear how I use certain sounds in there. But you'll also find stuff like a sound list that will tell you exactly what the original sound was and then what I made the sound into. Now, I'm using Kontakt as a sampler here. You could basically use any sampler. I chose to use Kontakt. I think it's very straightforward and intuitive. Now, the Kontakt player is what you see on the left-hand side. Basically, all you have to do is take a WAV file, just choose any WAV file of your choice, and simply drag and drop it into the Kontakt player. There's a little wrench in the left-hand corner that you'll see, and when you click that, this drop down of editing parameters will show up, and you could do everything from adjusting the curve, the attack, and the release, and you could really get in depth with your editing. Basically what you're seeing here is the editing parameters. When you drag and drop the WAV file into the Kontakt sampler, there's also a wave section here that actually shows, while the wave's playing, the waveform. And these little green and orange sliders here are the start and end of the sample. You could actually make those bigger, smaller, however you want, and actually change the sound of the original recording. The original WAV that you put in there, you could actually change it and just cut out the beginning, cut out the end, just play parts of the middle, and make a completely new sound from that to fit your production. So there's a lot you could do with this if you're using a sampler with these types of editing parameters. There's a lot of different editing parameters here that you could go. I'm just basically doing some simple stuff for the sake of time here. These sounds that were original in nature when I recorded them now become a sample. So now you could play them up and down your MIDI keyboard. You can manipulate them further. You can make them shorter, longer. You could loop them, and they could sound like something completely different. One of my favorite ones is the ah sound. Basically, that's my own vocals saying ah, and it's pitched up a little bit. And when you bring it into a sampler, you'll be able to run it up and down the MIDI keyboard and sort of make like a Vox effect out of it. Now, here's the sound as just the WAV file. If you were to play the WAV file in Windows Media Player, for example, you'll hear just the main sound, and I'm playing it on middle C. But as you could see, you could run the sound that I recorded up and down on your MIDI keyboard. So I want to go ahead and just play you a little something here. This is just something improvised, just so you could get a feel for what I'm talking about, how you could use these sound recordings. At first glance, it just looks like a sound library of WAV files, but it's a lot more powerful than that if you allow it to be. By actually implementing a sampler into your production and putting these original sound recordings that I recorded into a sampler, you're now able to re-edit and manipulate the sounds yourself to fit your own production style. And there's some other WAV samples as well, like the monster ones and everything, where if you just play the WAV file, it sounds good and decent the way it is, but if you're using this to score a soundtrack in a film or something, you might need like a whole lot of monsters. So instead of going into your DAW program and putting multiple tracks of the same WAV and then tuning them up and down, that would take more of your time and obviously more of your CPU and RAM, as well as more tracks that you'd be using up in your DAW. So an easier way to do it is actually take the WAV file of that one monster sound, insert it into something like Kontakt or a sampler of your choice, and then at that point, it's now sampled up and down your keyboard, and now you could just play middle C along with high C, low C, D, E. You could just play all the different notes, and now you're getting like a whole assortment of monsters playing at higher pitches and lower pitches, and it just sounds like a whole bunch of monsters from that one sample. And now you've only used one track if you go ahead and put that into your DAW program as a sample. So there's a lot you could do. It's pretty powerful. I specifically recorded short sounds in some instances, like, for example, the bass and drum percussion sounds. They're very short snippets of sounds that I recorded. Now you'll be able to bring those into the sampler of your choice and go up and down the keyboard. It'll be basically sampled from, low C to high C or anywhere in between, and you can manipulate the sounds, the velocity, the attack and release of them, depending on the features in your sampler. So that about sums it up on what I wanted to show you. Just very basic things you can do. Once you get it into the sampler, basically, if you know how to work a sampler, you'll be able to work with these recordings, and it's pretty straightforward. Kontakt is a very good sampler, so I find it to be pretty easy and fast to work in, so hopefully you will as well. So this is the home page of my website, and right here is the download button for this product. Like I said, it's free. And when you click that on, it will take you to my Themeway Creative store, and basically click on the bottom of the box right here is a detail page, and on this page is where you will actually find the download. Before you download it though, if you want to take a look, I got product videos here. All this stuff is actually included in the product. There's the audio demo that we heard at the beginning. It's the full demos there, explains a little bit how I did it, as well as product details here. Like I said, read the user's guide as well. It'll give you a lot more information. Now when you go to hit the download, it says there's no preview available. That's okay because I don't have a preview. There's no preview, don't worry about it. The file's about a gigabyte, a little bit over a gigabyte, so it can't be scanned by Google. That's basically what that's saying. You can download it though. It says download anyways. Go ahead and feel free to download it there. And basically when you download it, it's a zip file, so all you got to do is unzip it and you're ready to go. You'll see all the different file folders, and everything is pretty much self-explanatory. Alright, so that about does it for this video. I'd like to thank you for watching, and have fun with Themeway Creative Cinema Sound Designer. See you on the next video.